for it. In the bottom left side of Eternal Empire, we're looking at the main base of the European regional champ. He's representing Clash. It is Reynor.
And up in the top right in the red, we have got our Taiwanese champion upsetting Haas finally after so many years. He is nice.
This is one of these series, though, Maynard. I am coming in with pretty high hopes. Not necessarily that this is going to be the biggest thriller that we've seen in years, but I just want to be entertained, you know? I want to see a couple of things that makes us go a little wild, where we're like, what? I didn't expect that. And I believe that Nice can bring that. I just hope he doesn't fail to bring it.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely the series that I feel like has the most likelihood to just be a bit of a bob, you know, of all the matches that we have. It's pretty safe to say that it could happen. Obviously, we don't want that. This is a bigger map. I think that I mentioned it in the beginning of the broadcast. You do generally get the longer games on this map, on Eternal Empire. But this is a large level difference, which is weird to say. You know, a lot of people don't realize that there, even at the professional level, there's a big difference between the tip of the top, which is where Reynor absolutely is, and where Nice is, who is, you know, as mean as it is to say, kind of a middling professional when it comes to high-level StarCraft 2.
Yeah, and Nice did have a fantastic performance, though, earlier this year, right, at the DreamHack Masters Katowice, where he did really surprise us. We were like, geez, Louise, he was taking names left, right, and center. And I do believe that some of the Europeans sometimes overlook a player like Nice. I know that, you know, a lot of us are always like, oh, Europe is the strongest region outside of Korea, and, you know, even the 22nd best player in Europe would win Taiwan. I don't think that's totally fair. But of course, Reynor is not, you know, just your regular decent player from Europe. No, Reynor is the very top. He has won the European regionals 2 seasons in a row right now. On Maynard, make no mistake, that's not what he does it for. He wants to win the season finals as well. And this is where Reynor's journey will start.
That's right. See if he can do it this time. Last time, his rival, Jonas Atala Serral, got the better of him in the rematch of the season final. And that was unfortunately for the big bucks and for the big championship at the end of the season.
Well, didn't really get the better of him, right? Because it was Trap who eliminated Reynor. But
True. But
yeah. Serral did walk away with the trophy like he has done so many times in his life. Reynor is opening up at Overlord speed, and I'm kind of happy to see that. I mentioned it before. When you have these Brothers players that love to open Stargate, it's like, okay, you might be able to confirm there's a Stargate, but what after that? And, you know, for some players, that's not too much of a concern because you know that those processes ain't that crazy. We know a lot of things about Nice, but we're absolutely certain he's pretty damn crazy. So to get a follow-up scout with an Overlord, a speedy one, I think is an excellent choice for Reynor.
And we do see the Void Ray first here from Nice now. We haven't hit memes just yet. An initial Void Ray is very common at the moment in Taiwan and Korea. Saw it a lot in Lima League yesterday, actually, you know, 24 hours ago. Void Ray openers from people like Stats, who we're going to see later on in this group. People like, you know, Patience have been doing it a little bit as well against Zerg. A lot of the Koreans love to do this, and this is where Nice gets a lot of his practice. So Reynor coming in with that Speedy Overlord as the better player, even though you're spending that extra 100 minerals and 100 gas, it is worth it just to make sure you don't, you know, well, at least less likely are going to get caught with your pants down.
Well, there is our second Void Ray on the way already. So this is obviously a bit different. There's often indeed the Void Ray opener that's just going to take care of Overlords and help Protoss players go up to 3 bases ASAP. Because obviously Zerglings and Roaches don't shoot up. Second Void Ray, that's already a pretty strong indicator that we're going to see a lot of Sky Toss. I love memes, Maynard. I have to admit, I haven't seen the Void Ray. Yeah, that's crazy quick. A 4-minute big beacon.
Yeah.
I gotta say, whenever I see these builds, like Asuna tried it, I feel like all 3 games against Silky, and Silky was just like, yeah, no, you're not gonna beat me with Void Rays. I'm a bit worried, but I just hope that Nice has something very special in store for us.
So this, I've seen Nice do this before, where it could be the Yeet Ray upgrade, the speedy Flux Veins upgrade for the Void Ray, in which case, you know, a second Stargate, etc. Expecting that kind of anyway. But I've also seen him just go for, like, straight into carriers. And there's that second Stargate. Oh, lots of links here from Reynor. Gonna delay that third base for a little bit. Gets the Adept as well.
This is actually really bad for Nice, because look at where the Void Rays are. The Void Rays all the way at home. Reynor does get the follow-up scout, the important one, spots the Fleet Beacon, spots the second Stargate. And it is going to be Flux Veins for now. I honestly think Reynor is going to build drones and queens for the next 2 minutes. Maybe a couple of Zerglings to be annoying and get one more cancel on that Nexus with Sniper Pro, but I don't know, man. I want to believe, but I have to admit I'm not a believer of these kinds of builds.
And he's going for the extractor here, and that might look like a misclick, but getting rid of the extractor means less gas for the Zerg, and that is nice when you're trying to amass the voids. There's everything that is pretty much anti-Void Ray later on. Not so much at the start here, but everything later on does cost gas. And the Void Ray's being microed here. Well done there by Nice, not losing anything just yet, just hit points. And, I mean, this kind of thing from Nice is I've seen Zergs react to it by getting a Spire, because they usually react with a Spire when there's a lot of Stargate units, but then they go Corruptors, and then stuff gets weird. Like, sometimes the Corruptors win, sometimes the Void Rays absolutely demolish them, because they kind of counter each other. It's strange in that regard, but I actually would love to see Zergs just go Hydras here, honestly. Like, Lingbane Hydra seems like a good thing to do, and easy to do as well.
There's one little danger of going Lingbane Hydra, and that is that if the Protoss does go Carriers and you don't kill them and you're starting to invest more and more, I often feel that Lingbane Hydra only has one real proper attack against Carriers. And if that attack doesn't absolutely cripple the Protoss, I think you're going to lose. I do think you're going to get your wish. Hydras against Voids, of course, they fare a lot better. It doesn't really matter how many Void Rays there are. I feel Hydras always do pretty decent there. I mean, Reynor's already going up to 4 bases though, Maynard. He is losing drones somewhere. What is he losing drones to? The 2 random adepts. I don't know how Nice was able to sneak those in, but hey, not bad return of investment on 2 units that were considered to be useless in a game like this.
Yeah, I mean, Nice has lost 3 adepts in this game so far. He's done a good chunk of damage to Reynor, you know, for the trades, as far as that's concerned. Oh, Hurt Void's been moved to the back. That's so many queens. Oh my God, Reynor's got 11 queens out in the field right now, Rotterdam. This unit really can do it all.
I know. I'm still waiting for my statue, mate. One day they're gonna make one. I do feel the most important thing when you make this many Void Rays is you're going to lose one of them is indeed get a kill or cancel on that 4th hatchery. Then I truly start believing in the power of the Void Ray. But since the queen count is so high, Reynor obviously scouted what he went up against. I don't think he's ever going to be able to knock this hatchery down, at least not as long as the queens are around. And so far, this is not really working out because Reynor is up 11 workers. He's up a base. He's going to have a rich Vespian gas. And on top of that, he's got a million queens as well. So the entire map is going to be covered in creep. Because what does Nice have right now to push back the creep?
Nothing. He doesn't even have detection. He has to make an Oracle if he wants to get detection. He doesn't have a Robo here. Oh, Void Ray's getting caught. That left side Void very, very damaged. Lots of bruised Voids here. In fact, 1 is going to get picked off on the way back. Maybe even 2. Lucky. But yeah, we've got 3 Stargate Void Rays here, and a bunch of gateways are coming down, so obviously Nice is going to be making a ground army in a minute. But you're absolutely right. Like, he has no way of clearing creep at the moment.
I mean, look at that creep highway as well on the left side. Hydras are going to show up at Nice's base in almost no time. 1 queen gets a little ahead of the party. Void Rays are able to calm that one down. That's nice. And actually snipe one of the tumors as well. But this... I actually think that if Reynor attacks with an army that's a little smaller than it's supposed to be, let's say like 10, 12 Hydras, I think Nice could potentially get a fantastic fight. But if Reynor attacks with like 190 supply and like 20 plus Hydras in a ball, I don't know if Void Ray Zealot can really get the job done.
Yeah, well, he's stuck at 176 here, but with that Overlord popping out, he should be able to get close to max on Hydras. He's done with drones, that's for damn sure. He does not need any more drones in this game. Nice is switching him into Archon and Charge Lot, which is going to be a nice army against the Hydras, especially if he gets Storm as well for those High Templar. But that is like minutes away. Like right now, Reynor is going to be able to hit him pretty hard with a very, very big army.
Yeah, and especially if this fight would start before charge, then all of the Zealots are useless. You know, earlier you mentioned the Banelings, and this is definitely a moment where like 5 or 6 Banelings would be incredibly useful to have in the middle of the army. But it seems like Reynor feels he doesn't need it. He's about to have +2 missile attacks. That is a lot of Hydras. Can the Void Rays get anything done in the natural? The answer is no. So far, Reynor is looking bulletproof this game, Maynard.
Yeah, the Voids are getting summoned by the Bifrost back to the 3rd base to help out. Looks like all of them didn't make it, actually. The Recall left some behind, so they're still over on that side of the map, and Nice needs all hands on deck here to stop these Hydras. They are just stutter-stepping here and DPSing down a lot of this front line of Charge Lots, which just got charged. Void Rays coming in from the south side actually might get picked off on the way back in. Yes, they do. Good pickups from Reynor's going to get 4 Voids here.
Yeah, that is incredibly painful. So many Void Rays going down the drain. He's still investing in air weapons as well, so these Voids do really matter for Nice. It's a shame that he lost so many of his gateway units before he even really had the upgrades he was waiting for. The Storm that you mentioned is 80% done, but guess what? We've got 0 High Templars. I really feel that we're looking at the last few seconds of this game, because this Zerg army, I don't really see how it's going to fall.
Yeah, even the mummies are coming down here to transfuse their babies. There is just nothing going well for Nice at the moment. He's got some scary units, but he doesn't have enough of them. He doesn't have the ability to cast Storm here. He has no way to punish this light army of Reynor, so everything is going to melt to these +2 attack Hydras with their +2 attack mothers assisting from the backline.
I gotta say, with all these batteries completing, these voids at the bottom of the screen have actually done somewhat decent. That cannon is putting in overtime as well, but in the end, there is just way too much Zerg here. The Hydras have +2 as well, and Reynor takes a pretty dominant and convincing 1-0 lead. Yeah, like, it was wild, and it's a bit different maybe than what we see from a lot of other Protoss players, but I felt this was almost the most predictable wild thing. And I feel like you need to bring something a little more special than just Void Rays if you want to take a map from Reynor.
Yeah, this multiple Stargate Void Ray thing seems to be popular in some pockets of like the Asian ladder and that sort of thing. But even though it may not be as popular on Europe, Reynor seemed to really know what he was doing against it. Like, there was no moment in that game where I was worried for Reynor. Like, there was not a single moment in that game where I was worried for Reynor. I think I saw a Depths kill some drones, and that was the most amount of damage that I think Nice did in that game, apart from maybe picking off an Extractor or a Queen or two with Void Rays. Like, it was all Reynor, I feel like, for the, the almost 10 minutes that game was.
Yeah, I can only echo that sentiment. There was maybe this like one split second when there were 3 queens fighting at the bottom of the ramp of the 3rd base of Reynor, and there were like 6-7 voids, and there was only like 1 transfuse available between those 3 queens. I was like, oh, because it's kind of a domino effect. If you get those 3 queens, then maybe you can turn around and actually start fighting the other queens as well. And, you know, those Void Rays are chat rays, so they can actually hunt down units as well. But then Reynor, his queens came in from the left side. All queens survived. And like I said before, I truly believe that with all these builds, the most crucial thing is that you slow down the 4th base of the Zerg player. That just didn't happen at all. And then eventually Zerg is just a little bit too rich.
Yeah, in fact, it was actually Reynor slowing down Nice there, like denying the 3rd base once, and even like getting a Ling run by or 2 in there. Slowing down when you're trying to get a lot of high-tech, very expensive units out as a Protoss, when you go for that kind of strategy, you don't want to miss a beat. You don't want to miss a gear. Like, you can't slow down. You need that 3rd, you need that gas, you need that money, and you need to try and snowball there. But we didn't quite see it from Nice. Let's get into game number 2 and see how well he does. Instantly seeing a probe go across the map, no doubt, for the hatchery block at the top right here from Taiwan. Currently down the series, he is Nice.
And in the bottom left side, we look at the main base of the Italian Zerg player. He had a top 4 finish at the season finals of DreamHack Masters Summer. That'd be amazing for almost anyone, but this man was disappointed. He wants more. He wants to take it all this time. It is Reynor.
And he is feeling confident too, and rightfully so, I feel. If I was Reynor, if I was 18 years old, half as successful as he's been in his career, I'd be an extremely confident boy.
Look at this.
Ooh.
I'm obviously with you there, man. I'd be on top of the world. I was not even like 1% at school when I was 18. I was like building grunts and losing all of them all the time. And here's Reynor building Zerglings and doing it way better than I did. What's that drone up to? Is Reynor actually going to like disrupt the build order from Nice?
Yeah, he's trying to go for a hatchery block on the natural, I feel.
Or...
Oh, what? Excuse me? Scusi? Scusi, Reynor? Scusi?
Scusi.
Scusi. What is this? A hatchery in the main of Nice?
You know, the funny thing is that I actually face this kind of stuff very often myself when I play, but that's because I'm a bit of a donkey, Maynard. I like to go Nexus first, so that obviously means you have later access to the Zealot. I think Reynor knows that this hatchery is not going to accomplish that much. It is a pretty big investment. There's no gas, by the way, in the main base of Reynor, as the observer is showing us, and that's a big tell that this is just kind of, in a weird way, Maynard, this is pressure. I think he's just hoping for an overreaction, and he's hoping for a mistake on the side of Nice, but all you young Zerg players out there at home, I don't really recommend the build that Reynor is doing right now.
To everyone else at home, just take a natural. Be a good boy. Yeah. This is something that this is very this is nuanced. This is advanced. What Reynor is doing, it doesn't feel like it. I'm sure there's a lot of Gold League memers out there that put their hatcheries in the main base of Protosses, but to make this work against someone as good as Nice, yeah, it's a little bit tough. It looks like he's actually just he's getting close to letting that finish. He's gonna let it finish. So. I mean, he will have a queen production. He will have lings in production. I don't think he's making a drone from this hatchery. So not like he's going to get spines or anything, but I guess he'll have broodlings. Bit of a weird start.
Yeah, a bit of a weird start, but don't forget that Reynor didn't take any gases at home, and he is expanding right now. So in a way, you can almost say that this is just a response. It's like, you know what? If Protoss players want to be super annoying, grab one of their first probes, send it to the other side of the map, and block me, I'm gonna make sure that I'm delaying their expand. Like, no Protoss is really willing to take the risk of expanding immediately while there is a hatchery going up in their main base. And you know, I'm applying some blind logic right now. You don't need to win the game here, but even getting a creep tumor down would be so big because obviously it's going to take forever. I'm starting to love this Reynor. This is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
As long as he doesn't take too much damage from the adepts at home. And can he get the creep tumor up? I think he can. The adepts are going to try to prevent it. Oh my goodness.
Oh, they got the creep tumor.
Yeah.
All right, well, the creep tumor does get denied for now, but that's a queen, which is very, very tanky against these adepts. So she might have that 25 energy in a second here for another one. And hatchery is getting low. And Reynor also snuck a spine crawler that was one shot from dying.
Reynor, Nice is really misreading this. He is super overreacting.
And he's supply blocks.
Yeah, but he doesn't need those 2 extra batteries in the main. Like, sure, that spine is dangerous. There are a couple of slow zerglings everywhere. But I really don't think he needs those extra batteries. What he needs to do is start thinking of how to take his natural. Oh, man, this is actually getting really bad for Nice. Reynor is droning up at home, and he's already 4 workers ahead.
Yeah, and there is no nexus here for Nice. Like, he's not been able to take that naturally. He looks like he's maybe about to, but he has to get rid of this Zerg infestation inside of his main base first. This spine crawler is so annoying. It's so good against the depths.
Yeah, you don't, and obviously the adepts don't have that much range, right? The Stalker has an easier time. Reynor's gonna try to grab one of these adepts, and he will.
No.
Oh my goodness, Reynor is just like having way too much fun with this. This should be illegal, Maynard.
It should be illegal. I looked over the player cam just to see if Reynor was like smiling and he had like a cigar hanging out of his mouth and you know, a glass of Cristal. But unfortunately, he seems pretty focused right now. None of what I assumed was happening.
Oh my god, he squeezed out another drone and he's even building a second spine. Like,
Get out of here.
Reynor is not trying to win the game with this opening. What Reynor is trying to do is just make sure that this goes on forever. While he is obviously recovering at home. During all of this, Reynor did take his gas. He's got speedlings right now. Somehow even manages to kill one of the gateways. Now, when it's all settled and done, Maynard, Nice is at 23 probes. Reynor is at 39 drones. That is an insane lead. And Reynor is going up to 3 bases, while Nice, his natural has only just started. I mean, this is massive.
Yeah, and he was mining enough gas to get that blink speed, like you mentioned. So he is able to get up to roaches. He'll have Ravagers soon. In fact, he's going into a lair already, and Nice's natural is only halfway done. Like, this is just all kinds of terrible for the Protoss.
I have the feeling that if Reynor would play like Zergling Corruptor from this position, he would probably win.
Circling Corruptor.
Yeah.
Yeah, just make 30 Corruptors and pee on structures until they die, and just let the Blings fight the units. Yeah, I'm with you. It probably would work. Even against the Stargate, which is no doubt looking to make a Void Ray.
Yeah, well, I don't know what he's going to make out of it, but okay, double Stargate it's going to be. The thing, I have the feeling that Nice has played a lot against cheesy Zergs in his region that really go all out, you know, balls to the wall, and like, this is it. They must win. They make non-stop Zerglings, and then it's all about surviving. But this was not what Reynor was doing. Like, yeah, it's a big commitment, but Reynor is just trying to get ahead. And, well, he didn't just get a bit ahead. He got miles ahead in this game.
Yeah, this map is all Reynor at the moment. Catches these 2 adepts out in the map there with those speedlings. There's not really any room. Like, the map is dark and full of Zerg right now. There's no presence of Protoss out there. He doesn't have any way to threaten the Zerg or slow down the Zerg. Reynor's going to be able to get up to 60 drones pretty quickly if he wants to. I mean, he has the choice. Like, Nice doesn't really have a choice. He's playing blindly. Reynor could, like, he could go for a roach all in. He could just drone and go to 80. He can do whatever he wants.
Absolutely. You're like, you can go to 60. I was like, I think you can go up to 82 drones. I mean, especially like playing Phoenixes. Phoenixes are, I think, the best unit in the game when it comes to controlling economies and maybe keeping your opponent in check. But if the opponent is already 18 workers ahead and then they scout double Stargate Phoenix, I mean, can Reynor just make mass roach and win? Yes. Can Reynor just go up to 85 or even 90 drones? Yeah, he can absolutely do that too.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we'll keep an eye and see what Reynor's going to go for here. He does have a couple overlords in production as he's blocked a little bit, but It does seem to be some drones off the back of some roaches. I mean, he's respecting the fact that Nice could have some adepts out, but of course, the real threat is these Phoenixes, which he's starting to prepare for. He's got a Spore Crawler up. Does get a couple drones there, but there's a lot more than that. A lot more work to do here for these Phoenixes. Ah, okay, Reynor's making a ton of lings. He's going to try and bust them open.
Yeah, which I actually think is like the only way that you could potentially maybe throw your lead here. Because imagine if Nice would have been building double Void Ray now. He's not. We know he's not. So this attack is probably going to be more than fine. But imagine if there are still those batteries and then it's double Void Ray. I feel that Reynor would give Nice like the tiniest of tiny chances in this game. At this point, it's just a couple of very simple gateway units and a few Phoenixes against a lot of Zerglings and Roaches. And Reynor, this fight ain't even fair.
Nah, I mean, one of the things you can really ruin in a double Stargate Phoenix composition, as you know, Roddy, is just a lot of lings. GG. Reynor gets himself a pretty clean 2-0.